Mortal Kombat 11 is one of the highest selling fighting games of all time. Whether you're a fan of its back-to-basics, heavily footsie-focused combat, or the outright brutality represented across the cast, you'll be hard-pressed to deny that one of the franchise's biggest draws is its guest characters. When Spawn was announced for Combat Pack 1, many combatants rejoiced, as he is perhaps the most requested DLC in NRS history. As for his gameplay, Spawn is more than just flash and appearance. He can deliver some of the most damaging combos in MK11, and in skilled hands, can close out a match in a matter of moments. In today's video, we're going to discuss how to accomplish one of Spawn's most devilish routes, dealing out 88% damage without a fatal blow, as well as his fatal blow variation, which takes your opponent's life bar down to 97% with one wrong guess. So, I'm TheDoctorBlu, and this is how to delete your opponent's health bar with Spawn's Deadliest mix-up. This mix will take advantage of both offensive bars of meter as well as one of Spawn's crushing blows. You'll learn the timing of his flight-unflight mechanic as well as how to take advantage of his excellent restand option in the corner. You'll want to begin with Spawn's forward 2, 3, back forward 3 string. It's important to note that Mortal Kombat has a buffer system when executing combos, so don't delay these inputs, rather do them as one successive string. This is perhaps the greatest drawback of the sequence, however. Because you've done forward 2 into 3, you'll be negative on block from the get-go. You can begin this with his forward 2 into 1, which leaves you safe if you realize the opponent is blocking, but the damage is less overall. So although this is a high commitment starter, it more than makes up for it with the future damage potential. After you've connected your back forward 3 string, spin a bar of meter by pressing R1. This will launch your opponent in the air, allowing you to begin the next phase of the combo. Now, if you're struggling to get this combo to connect going forward, you can attempt to slightly delay the R1 amplification, which gives Spawn more time to perform his next inputs. Now, after launching the opponent, quickly dash forward and input back 1 to trigger Spawn's lower cape attack. And before visually confirming the cape attack's connection, input your down back 3, which is the fatal phantasm. You'll notice here that this is a hard link, so for all of you that will struggle with this connection at first, I want to clarify that this took me a better part of a day to master. Luckily, in my opinion, it's the hardest part of the combo, yet we'll all struggle somewhere along the way, so be sure to ask for clarification in the comments below if you need it. So this is the first part of the string, and altogether it does a modest damage of around 34%. However, the damage here isn't the purpose of the string, rather, it's the exact spacing that this combo gives you that's required to give Spawn his crushing blow. Now here, there is a variation after the amplification launcher that allows you to follow up much easier with a standing 1 attack into Fatal Phantasm, and just to note that you'll be getting slightly less damage, although the spacing will always be consistent. It's up to you on how confident you are in your execution. So once in this position, input your forward grab. Be careful not to step forward and grab, as it will ruin the spacing needed for the crushing blow. Spawn has a unique crushing blow in the corner, where if his back is against the wall and he lands a forward throw, it will crushing blow and leave your opponent dazed enough for a follow-up attack. If you're struggling to get the crushing blow animation, it's likely because your spacing is off, which will indeed take time to master. On the stage you're seeing, I began to use Ermac in the background as a reference for my spacing. If Spawn's shoulder was behind Ermac's knee, I knew the crushing blow would animate, so feel free to practice on the same stage if you find it helpful. Now, after the crushing blow, the next sequence of events should be familiar to you. Once again, input your forward 2 into standing 3, into back forward 3 to set your opponent up for a follow-up launcher. Input your amplification and you'll be prepared to input the final sequence of events needed to achieve insane damage. After your launcher, jump towards your opponent in the air and input your jump 2 input and immediately cancel out into your down back 2 flight mechanic, which is then followed up by another jump 2 input. Okay, let's slow that down. I'm definitely going to slow this down because when I first learned this mechanic, it took about 2 days to get it consistently. Truly, what you're doing is just inputting the triangle button on PS4 3 separate times. This triangle is the 2 input we've been referring to in the NRS dialect. It's in a quick successive motion, however, between the first triangle and the second, you're doing a very quick quarter circle motion on your controller. This quarter circle is simply down and back. It's elegant, simple, yet deadly. So in quick succession, you're inputting triangle into down back triangle, triangle, and it looks exactly like this. Once you've connected this, and it will take a few attempts, so be sure not to get flustered, you'll want to follow up with your forward 2 and into your down back 3 motion. This will cancel into your cape attack, which then subsequently cancels into Fatal Phantasm. And there you have it. You have a mix-up scenario that many opponents won't see coming, which leaves you with, let's see here, let's do the math, 34% plus 54%, yeah, 88% damage. The true damage though is done to your opponent, as they'll wonder what happened to their life bar and how did he do this so quickly. Their mind game will be messed up for the rest of the match for sure. Now I should point out, and I'm sure there will be comments from viewers who haven't made it to this part of the video, that there are so many parts of this string that your opponent can tech out of if they have breakaway defensive meter. So, while this is a hyper-specific scenario, you will be able to catch many opponents sleeping, as shown by this video on my Twitter feed. And despite its situational appearance, it's still an incredibly strong mix-up to have in your arsenal if you're aware of both your opponent's defensive meter and how many resources you have as well. So that's incredible, but what does it look like with a fatal blow? Well, I wondered the same thing, and it seems that the most damage I personally could squeeze out of this setup was 97%. I say this slightly sarcastically because it's an enormous amount of damage, and if your opponent is in the corner, that probably means they're already doomed. However, you'd be surprised how easy this is. In fact, the hardest part is remaining calm while you're laughing to yourself during its execution. You'll do everything the exact same. Go for the grab mix-up, crushing blow, into the 4-2-3 back forward 3 launcher. Yeah, this time you don't even need to do your flight-unflight mechanic. Just dash forward after your amplified launch and input the 1 input twice, his auto combo string, and launch your fatal blow immediately. You'll notice, of course, that I mashed 3 during the entire fatal blow to assure maximum damage, because despite the breakdown of this video, I'm still a noob at heart. So once you get the combo, you're left with the math again, 34% plus 63%, yeah, 97% damage. It's absolutely incredible. So you might ask yourself where the true strength of this sequence is, and it's simply all to do with mental pressure. Because Fatal Phantasm restands the opponent and leaves you +4 directly in the opponent's face, the opponent's first reaction is for sure to block a high-low mix-up. Even in a matter of moments, a frame-by-frame breakdown would imply that the opponent's first reaction would spell their doom, as you can grab people out of block. With that grab, boom, crushing blow. It's quite exciting to land this online, and one of the reasons I'm currently maining Spawn. So, what are your thoughts on Spawn? Did this video help you learn the character? Please consider liking the video and subscribing. It truly helps the channel grow, and I appreciate it tremendously. As always, I've been the Dr. Blue, and you are incredible. Guys, I'll see you in the next combat.